Hey everybody, welcome back. Happy Monday. As you can see, we have an egg box here, so we have another clutch that is hopefully done being laid at this point. So this girl is a pastel clown het pied, and she doesn't look like a typical pastel. And now that I'm looking at her, I don't even know if she's done laying. So she's actually a week late in terms of laying her clutch. She doesn't seem like she's too angry about me being here. So let me get her off and get these eggs out, and then I'm gonna check her to see if she's empty. Maybe she is. Let's see. Oh yeah, she's empty. She got beat up too. Look how thin she is from laying that clutch. I think. Yeah, she's empty. Okay, well that's good. So we got 5 eggs and a slug out of her, so I'm okay with that. First time mom. Now she had a dual sired clutch, and if you don't know what that means, so again, I always like to show this for people who never see it. This is a full size egg. This is a slug. They come out a lot tinier. Obviously, you can see the giant size difference between the two. So let's just go straight in the garbage. There's 0% chance of this actually turning out to be a viable egg. So, pastel clown het pied. She looks like something a little more than pastel because she doesn't look the same as my other pastels, even remotely close. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's something else in her. And she had a dual sired clutch, which means that I bred her to 2 different males this season, and here's why. So I started breeding her to my OD Blade pied double het clown MJ male because I was trying to. He was really at that point probably the most valuable and useful male that I was breeding. And then when my Super OD YB Fire Clown Pied male started locking up pretty frequently to snakes, to females, I started using him. So I think the Super OD Clown Pied male had more locks with her, but that doesn't mean he's the male that fertilized. So it's also gonna be hard to figure out which male was the sire unless there's yellow belly in there or fire in there or blade in there, and it's pretty noticeable. If I get a bunch of OD clown pieds and no other genes, then I'm not going to know for sure which male it is because they have pretty similar genetics from that standpoint. They both have clown, they both have pied, they can both make OD clown pieds, and I can't test for MJ Xanthic yet, so we'll see. I'm really hoping it's the clown pied male to give me better odds at hitting clown pieds. If that's the case, half of these eggs should be clown pieds. At the very worst, everything would be OD clown het pied, which isn't a high end animal, but $400 or so. I think was the last time, I think I have one now. It's listed for $400 or $500. So that's not a high ask price for those snakes, but the potential for. I also have, yellow belly and fire and pastel in the mix too. So I could have ODYB Firefly clown pieds. So, hitting a 4 gene clown pied isn't a bad thing at all. So I'm going to put her back real quick just and then we're going to wash her off and get her into a new tub. Now, so I don't know if I'm going to be releasing that female or not. As I've been, holding back a lot more stuff, I would say probably around roughly 10-ish females, 10 or more, I would say 10 at the least, that are in the Clown Pied project. Whether they're clown het pieds or clown pieds or pied het clowns. And they all have 1, 2, 3, 4 genes in them. So last year, probably in the early spring, I bought 4 snakes from Ballroom Pythons South. They're all females. I had 2 pastel clown het pieds, a pastel pied het clown, and a clown het pied. So 4 females for the clown pied project. They were just all plain or pastel because back then, believe it or not, a year and a couple months, it was harder to come by some females that had some good size that were in the clown pied project that weren't super expensive. So that's what I went with, knowing that my males were going to be really kind of a higher end thing. So that's all I was able to get at that time, and now they're finally breeding now. So I don't know if they're worth me holding on to for another year or not after breeding them, because the other three didn't actually lay yet. She's the first. Because most of the females I kept from last year will be ready to breed by the time even this female is ready to breed again, and definitely by the time those other ones even lay, because they're not even ovulating yet. So you kind of go back and forth between, is it? I mean, she can, if all four of these snakes can make clown pieds. Is it worth keeping them around to rebreed them again when everything else that you've produced and have ready to breed is better? Do I keep those as my low end snakes? So that's what I'm trying to kind of figure out now. If I take a clown het pied and breed it to my clown male that's red striped cypress, black pastel, possible redhead and yellow belly. Like, is that somebody that I use for him for pairing for next season? So, there's a lot of trying to figure out what's worth it, what clutches you do and don't want to make. Even with this clutch, I have 5 eggs. I have a 50% chance of hitting clown pieds if the male that I want actually sire this clutch. And then everything else, I mean, even if I hit an ODYB clown het pied, the sticker price isn't super high on those. Like I said, the Orange Dream clown het pied that I have available, they're going, like Canova had it listed for $400. Mine's Pos het MJ Xanthic, so I have it listed at the same, maybe a little higher, just because if it proves out to be Pos het MJ, you have a triple recessive snake. But it's a $400 snake at this point. So at the very worst, if that male is the sire, I have a bunch of $400 snakes, which it could be worse, but it's not great from my perspective of me trying to make some better end stuff. Now I could get lucky and hit 4 clown pieds in here, which would be fantastic, which significantly raises the bar for what my projects are going to be. So, and specifically because those 4 females only have pastel in them, and they're not bringing any other genes to the mix, it might be a reason why I lean towards selling them, because my other females, they might be ready to breed by the end of this calendar year, definitely by next breeding season. Leopard, Orange Dream, Blade, what else do we have in these girls? We got Spot Nose, which isn't great for pied stuff, but I'm still going to make clowns out of them. So if I breed the right male to it, I can make Batman clowns that are het pied and then have a few other genes. We have Lesser in the mix, which again isn't great for pied, but again could be worse because that snake still has leopard in it. Basically, all the ones I held back have some form of leopard and Orange Dream in it, which is better than pastel. So if I'm getting leopard and OD out of the female clown het pied, and I'm breeding a super OD YB Fire to it, I could be making super OD leopard yellow belly clown pieds. So if I have those males to breed to them, it's better to go that route than just to have a female with pastel. Having those extra codoms in there makes a big giant difference. So we got 5 good eggs out of her and a slug. These look like they're all good. I'm going to candle them just to make sure and get her put away. So keep a lookout. I'm still on the fence about whether or not to sell her. I'll figure that out by the time she's ready to go, because I usually like to get 2 males, at least 2 males and a female after they lay before selling them, because sometimes they can be tricky to get back on food after they actually have a clutch of eggs. So continuing the trend here of average size clutches. Hopefully some of these other females will start giving me something a little more than 5 or 6, because it kind of stinks getting small clutches all the time, but at least they're all good eggs. So we will see you guys tomorrow.